Hi guys! Welcome to my new series called How to Dance Like a Rebel, featuring your host, Rebel Industry. I thought I would start a series for you guys from everything to do with the ins and outs of shuffling. So in our episode 1, I'm going to be talking about tips, tricks, and shortcuts and beginning your journey as a shuffler. So basically, what you need to know in order to get started. Before beginning your journey as a shuffle dancer, there's a couple of questions you need to ask yourself. Do I want to learn? How badly do I want to learn? Do I have the time to make this investment? And ultimately, is it worth it? When you ask yourself these series of questions, begin to think about the time that you want to put into this dance. It's not something that's going to come easy, so you're going to have to be able to put in the work in order to get a return on your investment. If you want to learn how to shuffle, the only person that's going to get you there is yourself. I can coach you as much as you want, your friends can tell you should shuffle because it's awesome, but at the end of the day, if you don't want it bad enough, if you don't want to become a shuffle dancer, then this isn't for you. If this isn't for you, that's okay. There's a lot of different other passions out there. But if you want to make the commitment and you can't stop thinking about shufflers and shuffling and going to your next festival or event and breaking down the dance floor, then this is definitely for you. So I'm here to give you all the tools that you need to get started and get you on your way to becoming a professional shuffler. When you've made the choice to dedicate yourself to shuffling, then what is the next step? The simple answer is start practicing. But that's not as easy as it sounds, especially for someone coming from zero dance background, which is most of the people that reach out to me. So before you begin, you definitely need to invest in a proper pair of shoes. A couple examples of good shoes would be these ones here. So the Adidas Superstars are great because they're nice and flat, so they help you focus on where you're putting your weight on your foot. They've also got a bit of a cushion, so I find them to be a little bit more comfortable as well. Or you can invest in something that's got a little bit more cushion, especially if you're going into shapes or something a little bit more bouncy. Keeping that comfortable sole is a great idea because you're going to be investing a lot of time in doing your running man over and over again and repetition. So you definitely want a pair of comfortable shoes to get started and so that you don't hurt yourself or roll over your ankles. It's also important to ensure that you've stretched quite a bit before and after you shuffle. So that way you prevent injury and you're going to be doing a lot of repetitive movements. A lot of my students find that in the first 2-3 weeks, they've got so much pain because they're constantly using their calves and their ankles and putting a lot of pressure on their legs and they're not stretching properly. So I always advise all of my students, especially beginners, please stretch before and after. If you guys are interested in how I stretch and warm up every single time before I shuffle, I can definitely make an episode about stretching and what are the key exercises that you need to do in order to prevent injury. So definitely leave a comment, guys, and let me know if that's something that you're interested in. The next thing to think about is, how do I practice? How long do I practice? What is the key to practicing? It's great to outline a routine for yourself, maybe scheduling in different times during the week that you'd like to practice, whether you're an early riser and you want to practice in the morning, or you'd like to practice in the evenings because that's when you get most of your energy, or maybe you want to practice on your lunch break. Whatever it is and whenever it is, it's always a good time. I always tell all of my students that repetition is key, and they always get super annoyed with me. They don't want to continue practicing the same movement over and over again. I get it. It can be annoying, it can be frustrating, it can be time consuming to continue doing the running man over and over. But I promise you, this is the key to learning. It's not about all those complex steps, those crazy movements that you see all the professionals do. Those are things that are gonna come in time. So in the beginning, when you're first starting to practice, pick songs that have a very low BPM. You don't wanna be racing to catch up to the beat. Rather, you want to focus on each step and how you can make sure that you're doing it properly. You want to make sure your technique is good before you can up the speed. So what I recommend is picking a playlist of very slow songs. You know, some of my favorites are Kygo, very low BPM house beats, anything that's super low pace that doesn't allow you to focus on the speed, because in the beginning, all you want to focus on is technique. Side note, I do have a shuffle playlist that I have a lot of slower songs in. If you guys are interested in being linked to that, it's on my Spotify account, so I can definitely link you guys in the comments. So pick some songs that ignite a passion in you so that you don't feel like you're falling asleep every time you practice, and make sure they have a super low BPM. That is the key. So how should you practice? I would say in the beginning, practice at least 3 to 5 times a week. The more you practice, the faster you're gonna pick it up. I would say 15 minutes is the minimum. If you're gonna do it 3 times a week, that's gonna get you at a decent pace of learning. But if you can incorporate a longer period of time where you're practicing and repeating steps over and over, that's what's gonna get you to become a faster dancer, and you'll be able to pick up movement faster. So now that you have an idea of what it takes to start learning, next I'm gonna go through a proper process that I like to teach my own students about how you should attempt each stage of movement. The important thing to know is, in order to learn these complex movements, you need to be well advanced in your journey through your running man and your T-step. These 2 steps, running man and T-step, are the fundamentals of shuffling. So it's important to start with these 2 moves. Just to let you guys know, I will be featuring an episode coming soon on both the running man and the T-step, and focusing on technique so that you guys can get to where you want to go. You definitely want to focus on running man and T-step. And a good chunk of time would be at least 3 weeks to 4 weeks of focusing on just that. And of course, if you're not practicing as much, then you definitely need to be practicing this for a longer amount of time. So it can be anywhere from, 3 weeks to 3 months, but you really need to focus on these 2 steps and their variations in order to continue your process of learning. Running man you should do at least once a day. It's one of those moves that, unless you practice it, it's really hard to just go into, especially because your brain is not used to doing this move. Practice is all about making your movement stronger, which in turn allows you to do it at a faster pace, and it also provides you with muscle memory. Muscle memory can allow you to do a move without thinking about it, because your body has remembered the movement, and you no longer have to think back and really focus on what you're doing. Rather, the moves just come out. Doing this slowly is the key, because you can watch yourself, especially if you have a mirror that you can watch with. The next most important thing that I want you to focus on is musicality. So what is musicality? As a dancer, it's super important to listen to the music that you're dancing. Think about all the little beats in the music, the chorus, how it hits high and hits lows, and little sounds within the music that are so interesting and play a role in making the music more complex. Think about these sounds and how you can incorporate them with your body and your movement. Dancing is not just about applying a technique and doing a movement. It's about how you can apply your passion, your emotion, your energy, how you're feeling into your movement. It's about translating the music you hear into your body. So it's important to listen to the music that you're dancing to. Personally, when I dance, I focus on how I'm feeling, what's going on in my life, things that I can pull from that maybe bothered me, or things that made me happy. To me, dancing is an outlet. So by really focusing on how you portray the music and the emotions that you get at the time that you're dancing, those are all super important things to think about. Lastly, and most importantly, a lot of my students and a lot of people in general, when they're practicing, especially in the beginning, they feel like they're not doing it right. They feel uncomfortable. They feel weird doing this movement. And oftentimes they think they're doing it wrong because of that. So it is a possibility that you could be doing the movement wrong. But in reality, it's probably because it's new to you. It's something that you're not used to doing. Your body feels weird doing it. It's different, and that's okay. It's not something that, you can just get up and learn. It's something that takes a lot of time and practice to feel comfortable doing. So don't ever get down on yourself or feel like you're not good enough just because of this, because so many people out there feel the same way as you, I promise. If you tell yourself that you can do this, then you will. That's probably the most important bit of advice that I can give you. Believe in yourself, believe that you can get there, and just take the time and cut yourself some slack. This is a process, it's a journey, and you're making the first step in this journey. I congratulate you, I'm happy for you, and I want to be there with you for every step of the way. So that concludes our episode 1 of How to Dance Like a Rebel. Please guys, give me your feedback. I want to know what you guys want to learn. I've been there, done that a million times over, and now I teach a lot of different students. So I'd love to apply my knowledge to what you guys want to know. Please leave me a comment, let me know what you thought of this. I'm looking forward to the rest of this series. If you guys have any questions for me, please leave a comment as well, and I will get around to responding to all of them as fast as I can. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and for supporting me in this process, because without you, there would be no me. Honestly, it's been such a journey, and I'm so happy to take this to the next level with this series for you guys. So I hope you enjoy, and thanks for watching. Bye, guys.